Hello. Gotta finish my homework first, and then we're gonna play some Maximus 2. My phone's got to charge, so let's get this done first. Let's change up the team a little bit. I don't know if he'll be able to do it. Let's see, it's the best set for him. I kinda don't remember. You know, I actually could probably use Akuma, huh? But Ignis is really good for Geese. Let's see, I don't remember what his setup is. He's kind of hard to build around. He has weird stuff on him. Oh, here we go. Let's give him this. Alright. Yeah, I think we're good to go. What's up, Radical? Hold on, let me set up the controller first. Hopefully this won't take too many tries. Sometimes Geese is he's a little bitch. He likes to make you reset a lot. I'm hoping that won't be the case here. Try to get this done quickly so I can move on to the next game. And sometimes this takes like 20 minutes as he doesn't cooperate. We'll see. That's a reset. Being a dick. I don't like this boss. There's so much RNG. Sometimes he doesn't cooperate. You only need to get one good run. Sometimes it takes a while. He doesn't like to play nice. Saikyo no chikara. bitch, man. I hate this boss. I wish they'd never put him in. It's irritating. I did this first try last night, and now that I'm streaming, it's not wanting to cooperate. Just doing the same obnoxious stuff over and over. Good start. Rugal has a lot less RNG. Geese has a lot. Ignis helps. Ignis is immune to the darkness puddles. God damn it, man. How did he not stagger? He had 1% shield left. What a bitch. I wish they would remove this boss. It's just annoying to fight. Okay, I'm just gonna do the most obnoxious attack over and over. Well, just do that right away, huh? Fair. This cancels his animations. Oh my god, man, you're being such a dick. Will you just cooperate? I wish if you just got the score for this once a week, it would just let you skip it. At least this boss. I can't stand fighting him. It's just obnoxious. You can't reset in this game either. You have to sit through the load screens. Just cooperate, please. Sometimes it takes so long to do this. I don't know why they don't let you skip it when you've already done it for the week. It's definitely something they need to add. It's like I've already done this every day. Just let me skip it. I get to the fun part. Again. Then you turn invincible. Great. Great. Every time I get a damage phase, he just turns invincible. Sometimes I don't even want to do this when Geese is up for the week. It's just so frustrating. I might have to change my team. This is not working. It's just wasting time. Just like not even getting a chance to get anything started. He cheats. This has potential. Or not. Just do it twice in a row, why don't you? Oh my god, man. Stop doing that. Hate this boss. It was definitely better when he was not in the game. Rugal is so much more consistent. This boss is just random. I'll try this one more time with Ignis. I think Dark Ash is going to be better. Oh, of course, just do that right away so I can't even move. Great. No, you're not. Don't do it again. Sometimes he does it like 3 times in a row. No, you don't, bitch. That's some good damage there. Saikyo no chikara. Of course. Oh, you're such a fucking bitch, man. Seriously. I don't understand why they added this boss. So, just obnoxious to fight. He just does not cooperate. He just keeps doing the same thing. Pissing me off. I did it first try yesterday, and now he's just giving me shit RNG. Alright. He should be able to break the shield faster. I'm thinking that might just be the best thing to do. I'm out of ideas. He does kind of break this boss. Alright, let's try this. Oh wait, I think Ash is better, isn't he? Yeah, the healing will help. Alright, punk ass, let's try this again. Ignis doesn't do any damage anyway. It's gonna be Ryu that's the damage dealer. Oh, just do that as soon as I tag in. That's fair. Thanks. It's like he input reads. I really wish I could skip this. Really do. I wish I didn't have to do this every day. I wish just do it once a week and then just give me the score. Because I get annoyed with this. Just do that 4 times in a row, why don't you? Bitch. again. Oh my god, man, will you stop doing that? He did it like 3 times in a row. I hate this boss. No, come on, I pushed the button. I pushed the button for the super, and he didn't do it. I hate the stupid burst mechanic where they can just... You just take off half your health and you can't avoid it. Come on, load. Ugh. I hate when this takes like 20 minutes, it's so frustrating. Because he drops the best stuff in the game, that's why. Sometimes you just get shit RNG like this. And he doesn't cooperate. Like, he just does that, and kills you right away. It's normally not this bad, he's just like not wanting to cooperate today. It's a reset. Now just go straight back into it again. I wish he had a consistent pattern instead of it being random. Rugal is a lot less annoying to fight. It's just a crapshoot sometimes. He doesn't do what you need him to do. At least Ash can break the shield. Just, come on, man. You had 3% shield left. Come on. Every time I have a good start, he just does that. This mode still doesn't have a reset button. I should not have done that. That was not a wise choice. He needs a 3-bar super, it prevents him from doing the Raging Storm. He's just gonna do that. Okay, good. Come on, will you do the super, please? Just kill me right away. Put poop on the ground so I can't fight. I guess I could try Akuma. Oh, now my mouse isn't working. Great. Great. And I'm just sit through this loading. Come on, will you stop? Just go straight into that. Believe how long this is taking. Yeah, just do it again, why don't you? Just fuck up my damage phase. Now it's gonna be hard to get Ryu in to do damage. Yep, just do it 4 times in a row, why don't you? Just keep doing it, no limit. Yeah, just do it again. Yeah, just keep doing it. Just do it 10 times in a row. Great fun. It might just take Akuma. I don't know. That might be better. It's just so annoying, though. I hate doing this. It's a lot better when they didn't have him. They just had Rugal. Rugal's a lot less frustrating to fight. Alright. Let's try this. Let's see. That's Ryu exclusive. Let's try this. I'm thinking maybe he can just burst them down. There's got to be an Akuma card in here somewhere. I did just get Akuma pretty optimized. No, normally it doesn't take this long. I should explain that. Normally it does not take this long, but he's just not cooperating today. I'm getting really bad luck. Okay, so I need to take this card off. That's the best thing I can give him. Does he do darkness damage? I honestly don't know. I haven't actually used him before. No, he does. Okay. Alright, well, he's pretty easy to build, at least. I got, like, freaking 7 of these cards from the banner. It gave me so many of them. Like, more than I can ever use. Alright. Let me see what she's got on. Thinking if I put this set on all 3 of them, that I should be able to do this. It shouldn't take much longer, hopefully. The combat power doesn't matter, it's just the damage. She's balance type, so she won't die that easily. I pretty much finished the event. I have like 1 card left to get. I might grab it tomorrow when I get paid. Other than that, I'm done. finished everything. But yeah, this boss, he can really be annoying sometimes. He's harder than Grugel, but the problem is a lot of it is because of the RNG. Sometimes he likes to just screw you over. Alright, I'm hoping this will be enough. It's alright, my phone needed to charge anyway. This is a good time waster. It's just a frustrating one. Yeah, this card set's like best in slot because it increases their damage a lot. It does, yeah, increases pretty much all their attack by 75%. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a shot. I'm sorry this is taking so long. I'm getting screwed over by RNG right now. Alright, I think we're good now. I'll give this a shot. I don't know how much it will help. Actually, hold on. Hold on. I forgot. This is floating. I forgot to give him, I forgot to give him the Shermie card. That will make him, that will make him do shock damage. It forces shock damage, which is really good. Even if a character can't do shock damage, you can force it. That might help with breaking the shield and keep him in the weakness phase a lot more. You're just being a bitch right now, aren't you? That's okay. That one was my fault. I didn't switch properly. I can see how this will work, though. Sucks. Bad luck already. He already did his little PMS mode thing. Twice in a row, tic-tac-toe. Should be broken soon. Alright, I already did enough damage. Have to change the strategy. Freaking Akuma is a beast. Ah. Alright, that's okay. I'll try to do this in one key now. It doesn't matter. I'm done pretty much. It doesn't matter how badly this goes. This sucks. Just does it again. He just get pissed. No, I can't take that. I can't take that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the reset, but he shut that shit down. He's like, no. No, the rent is due now. It's not due next week, it's due now. angry landlord right here. Trying to fund his third vacation home right now. That was like a perfect run too. He was actually really cooperating. He just did it like 4 times in a row. Yeah, just do it again, why don't you? Now I can't get another run like that first one. The glitches when you rage quit are so funny. Sometimes the screen gets all jacked up. All right. Of course. Will you cooperate, please? Come on, man. Stop doing that. I don't know why they had to make this boss so annoying to fight. It's so random what he does. Just walk through my attack, why don't you? Kuma's got classic, my friends and I call it wet scrotum syndrome. Like, every nerve in his body goes to his balls. I like that they're accurate with that in this game. Wet scrotum syndrome. It's like you poke his shoulder and the nerves go straight to his balls. That's how he's always been. Some bizarre, rare nerve disease. All his pain receptors go to his balls. It's always been his weakness. Stub his toe and it goes to his balls. He's been around for almost 30 years. He still hasn't solved that problem. He hasn't been to a doctor. It's probably a prescription drug that cures it, but he's too stubborn to go. So, pull his beard, his balls start hurting. Must be why he's so pissed off all the time. I mean, if every nerve in my body went to my balls, I would probably be perpetually pissed off too. Maybe he's more of a relatable character than you think when you realize he has wet scrotum syndrome. I've been calling it that for years. Yeah, all he needs to do is just go get an over-the-counter drug for wet scrotum syndrome. He'd be cured. He'd be the ultimate life form, but nope. You know how us men are. Don't want to go to the doctor. That's his problem. Weakness. Alright, doesn't matter, I got it. I got it, no more resets. I gotta learn, get a better synergy with these guys, but yeah, they can do it in one key. A lot of those resets are just me trying to get a good run. It's not as bad as I'm making it look. I haven't really used Akuma before. Yeah, not bad, one key. Yeah, every nerve on his body, if they did a scan on him, all his pain receptors would just go straight to his balls. That's why he's so angry all the time. He just doesn't realize there's a peaceful solution of just going to the doctor and getting medication. You know, his cat scratches him, and it goes to his balls. His cat scratches him to get him up. He's like in intense pain. That's why he's so pissed off. That's the story. That's the Street Fighter lore for Street Fighter 6. They're gonna bring him back. They're gonna reveal, like, touching backstory for why he's so pissed off all the time. It's like, it's just all the pain goes to his balls. That's it. My friends and I have been calling it wet scrotum syndrome for like 15 years. I really do think that's like his whole backstory. Akuma doesn't really have a backstory. No, Street Fighter 6 had a pretty crappy introduction. It's just no gameplay. I think they're doing a pretty great job of making people forget that it exists. That's what happens when you don't show any gameplay. They should have waited until, like, EVO. They would have had, like, another... They would have had, like, another 6 months to work on it. And, like, get it to the point where they at least have, like, 2 characters in engine fighting in real gameplay. It would have gone a lot better. Now all anyone's talking about is the logo. It's weird. I don't get why game companies still do that. They know that people don't like it. People are tired of getting shown games when they've, like, barely started making them. People have been sick of that for a while, but it keeps happening. I don't understand why. It's definitely really appreciated when they don't do that. It's like, hey, here's this new game we've been working on, and we've been working on it in secret for like 3 years, but it's out in 6 months. like you can actually plan around that shit, like taking the week off or something like that. But no, they keep you know, and they've like just gotten out of the meeting. We've just gotten out of the meeting with the suits. Like, yeah, you can make this game. You have permission to make this game. We're gonna fund it for you. And that's when they announce it. It's like, no, don't do that. They did that with Resident Evil 2 remake. They had that video of that guy. He's like, yeah, we don't have anything to show, but we're making it. It's like, okay, well, why did you tell me now? The game turned out to be good, of course, from what I heard, but I think it was announced in a really lame way. It's like we literally just walked out of the meeting. Like, we haven't even made, like, a single rock or tree or a gun model or a zombie model or anything, but we're gonna tell you about it now. It's like, gee, thanks. I really appreciate that. It's ironic that DMC5 got announced, like, right after, and that game was like a 9-month cycle, and they had gameplay out pretty much right away. DMC5 announcement to release was like really short time. It was like, okay, I actually feel like I can get excited for this game, and then I don't need to put it in my will, or put my GameStop gift card in a fucking time capsule or something. Like, tell me when it's done. Capcom seems to be learning from their mistakes for the most part, but they do still have times where they do that, like Street Fighter 6 trailer, which had, like, absolutely no gameplay. I mean, it's like it's a fighting game. You're not gonna, like, have anything to speculate about. I feel like games with more of a narrative focus can kind of get away with that. It's more justifiable when you can put stuff in the trailer, like, I don't know, the character looks different, or, you show a character that was dead and they're alive again or something, or they have like a major redesign. Like, you can get people to talk about it and, you know, keep it in their minds while the game is, like, still, like, barely even being worked on. And, like, with the fighting game, it's just a shit way to announce it. Because it's like, there's no story. What little story there is, you know, it's not really a big factor. Street Fighter's story has always been a mess, pretty much. King of Fighters had more coherent lore, but the problem with King of Fighters was that they, all the way until 11, all the Neo Geo games, they were translating those in-house, and the English was terrible. You couldn't tell what was going on. I'd say King of Fighters and Mortal Kombat have, like, the most coherent stories out of all fighting games. It's just King of Fighters, you really do have to, like, look on a wiki or something to, like, get it explained to you. Because 90s SNK, they didn't bother to, like, actually hire English translators. They all did it. They did it all in-house. And you could tell that they could, like, barely translate English. Yeah, SMT5 is another one. They took forever to announce that. They announced it and then they showed, like, no gameplay. Setting up the phone right now. We're going to do a 1cc attempt. I really like how the RGG Studios does it. Like, they don't announce their shit until it's like 6 months away. Like, that's the way to do it. Now, in the other company's defense, RGG Studios, they do recycle a lot of their assets and stuff to get the games out faster, but, I mean, the games still turn out pretty good from what I've seen. I've never actually played one to completion, but at least they announce them when they're pretty much done. There's no bullshit like 2-year delays or like a year of waiting until you see the actual gameplay. I feel like those guys kind of get it right. Everybody else needs to learn from them. None of this. Here's a logo of the new Elder Scrolls in the Grand Canyon. Like, get excited. I'm like, okay, you haven't even started working on this game. Like, why should I care? You haven't shown anything. Yeah, Elden Ring was a vaporware announcement too. They didn't show any gameplay at all. It's like, okay. I'm thrilled to be shown this game that I can't play for like 4 years. Yeah, I'm setting up the phone. Let me use the bathroom though. I'll be right back. Elden Ring is getting out of the honeymoon period, so people will start actually having more criticism towards it. You gotta realize with highly anticipated hype games like that, people get so excited that it just exists and they can play it. And then after some time passes, they're like, you know what, there's parts of this game that are terrible. That's every game. I don't know exactly what's wrong with Elden Ring because I haven't played it and I have no interest to, but every overhyped game is like that. Hold on, let me show that I'm on hard. You gotta set up my local recording. Alright, I think we're good to go. Oh yeah, the FromSoft community is terrible. They're some of the most unwelcoming people. The random nobodies, that is, not the people that like actually make videos and stuff. They're fine. That's the thing, nothing's an infallible piece of media. Nothing. Like, everything has flaws. Yeah, they tell you to get good. It's like, dude, I finished the game. Like, there were things about it I didn't like. Yeah, that shit really bothers me about that community. Yeah, they're good games, but they have really toxic people playing them, which is what a lot of gaming communities are like, really. Let's reset this. Well, it's mostly the people that don't create anything that are like that. Most people that actually make stuff like what I'm doing here, they don't want to start stuff like that because we already get enough stupidity flung at us every day. Like, like I don't go around starting stuff on forums because it's like I already deal with some of the dumbest people, YouTube comments and stuff. And like people that don't contribute anything, they're always the loudest. Once you remember that, it gets a little bit easier to deal with. Yeah, no, you just gotta realize that the people that talk all that shit, they don't contribute anything to their respective communities, other than making them look bad and making people not want to interact with them, which is bad, because that's less people buying the games, that's less people making content for the games, which means that less of the games get made. Sometimes you just gotta remember that you're legit, and those people don't contribute anything. That's the unfortunate part, is that's the stuff that you see. That stuff makes me never want to play a FromSoft game, because, like, everybody just tells you to get good at... It's like when someone points out, like, an obvious flaw in those games, people just tell you to get good. It's like, well, yeah, they're capable of... Sure, they're capable of being good at the game, but they're not enjoying it, so... It doesn't make sense to parrot getting good at somebody and they're not having fun playing it. Like, there's other things they could be doing. Like, it's just a stupid thing to say. It's like telling Michael Jordan to, like, go play bowling. And he says, well, bowling's not really interesting for me. And you just tell him to get good. It's like, dude, it's Michael Jordan. I'm sure he could be proficient at bowling, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't like it, so what's the point of telling him to do that? Like, that's kind of a shit example, but that's kind of what I'm trying to say. If they're not immediately, the game is not hooking them from the start, then why are you telling them to get better at it? What's up, Power Flood? You here to, stalk another beat 'em up? I know you. I know you. I know your game. Stalker. Yeah, this game is legit. I've been playing it a lot the past few days. Trying to do a 1cc right now. clean fight.
You're looking to buy?
Main problems I have with this game is lack of invincibility frames. Definitely feel a little bit unfair at times. There's no, like, dodge or anything. You can't do moves out of hit stun. Sometimes you just get hit for, like, a lot of your health, and it doesn't always feel fair. I might have already ruined this run. Oh, they're just not cooperating today. Jeez. Come on, stop doing that. I don't know, some gamers don't understand that, like, when the games are balls hard, normal people don't want to play them. And they don't seem to understand that, you need normies to make these games grow and to get more of them made. Having stuff being, like, ball-busting hard, it's nice for the veterans, but... a lot of times all they really do is they just take out the stupid stuff. I don't see how that's a bad thing. That's kind of what they did with Monster Hunter Rise. They took out a lot of the dumb stuff. So, like, people who aren't masochists actually want to play it. I hate this auto-scroller. Auto-scrollers are always insufferable. Just want it to be over. Alright. At least it's only like 2 minutes long, but an auto-scroller is an auto-scroller. There's no such thing as a good auto-scroller. That's a tolerable auto-scroller, I'll give it that.
Give an old man a break.
Oh man, the Souls talk. I can't even comment. I'm just gonna keep playing the game. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I can't comment. I have like no interest in playing those games ever. I'm kind of focused on this right now anyway. Got 3 more levels after this. Not my kind of game at all, so...
You name it, I've got it.
Ah, shit. I got stuck in an animation. Come on, don't screw this up, man. Don't screw this up. Ah, I hate this enemy. Don't stagger. Alright, good. There's food here. Alright, good. Well, the thing they have to deal with is all the idiots that think a game like this, where you attack fast, is a mindless button masher. They have to deal with that stigma. They're probably tired of making the same game over and over. But it's been a timeless thing. It's been going on for a while now. Like, you know, I still have to read enemy attacks and look for openings and stuff in this game. I can't just button mash. If I stand here and do this, I'll die. But because of the way that the game looks and the fact that you can attack fast, people just call this a button masher. Which is objectively wrong, but it's like, just because your character is fast and not slow and doesn't have, like, stamina, doesn't mean that the game is a button masher. It can be even harder in some ways because you have to learn how to actually use all the options and the tools that are given you. When you have less tools, there's less to learn. That's why it's so hard to get into DMC, because you have just like dozens and dozens of tools for every situation, and you have to learn how to use them. It's not a button masher. It's not. These games are challenging and fulfilling too. I get tired of it, honestly. Just because you don't play a fat, slow, clunky character with no moves that takes forever to do anything, it's a button masher. I get really tired of that stigma. I'd like to see those people like 1cc and old school beat 'em up, arcade beat 'em up. Like, you call those games a button masher, man. Let's see you 1cc one of those games. That'll put them in their place real fast. I hate this screen. This is like the hardest screen in the game. These things have really wonky hitboxes. Be careful here. These things are the worst enemy. Ugh! What is the hitbox on these guys? I hate this part. Damn it. How's that guy still alive? I have, like, no health to spare right now. Those stupid guys on those freaking Star Wars things. That's definitely the worst screen in this game. Those things have really wonky hurt boxes. Come on! Yeah, thank you. God, they're back. Alright, good. They cooperated that time. Those things are so broken. They have, like, a really small hurt box, I've noticed. Alright, last level. Last level. Will I get it on the second try? That is the question. It's the end of the game. Local recording too, so I can dump this up if this is the run. I'll probably do another one if I fail this one. This room sucks though. Gimmick room. Alright, final boss. Can I do it? I got a pretty good strat last time. It's basically like 3 bosses. Let's see if I can pull it off. Shit. Alright, home stretch. Time this right.
Underworld is calling your name. Can you hear it?
Yeah! Let's go! Got a 1cc on tape after I did one earlier today. I was offline. GG. GG. That was a good run. Definitely played a little rough there at some parts, but solid run. GG. There you go. 0 deaths. Yeah, this game is fun. The problem with the Switch version of DMC3 is the weapons. You have to take them all at once. They didn't learn anything from 5. It's really awkward to switch between them. I would say it's the best version, but it gets worse to use as you get all the weapons. You have to switch between 5 of them, which is... most people don't do that. Most people that play 5, they do like 3 or 4 at most. You have to have them all on. It's really awkward. Which is weird because it came out after 5. It's the biggest downfall of that version. GG. What an awesome game. An awesome game. Am I enjoying this game? Yes, it's fun. Alright, let me turn off the recording. GG. There's supposed to be an update for this that fixes the weapon drops. I kind of don't want to play this anymore until that comes out. It said that it might be tonight. Nah, there's no update yet. Let's see, what now? Honestly, I kind of expected to botch that. I have to do it again, but no, I got it. I basically got it on the first try. I started playing really bad. The first boss is actually kind of difficult because he's basically the first boss from Final Fight, Damned. He has like HP thresholds where he'll run away and call mooks. It's actually like the longest boss fight. You can't really speed it up much. But yeah, I got that. Basically, it's one try. Pretty consistent. Worst part was the little Eskimos on the wolves or whatever. Those things have the worst hitboxes. They're hurt boxes. I don't understand what it is, but like their whole body is a hitbox, but like their hurt box is like it feels like it's like a pixel or something. That room always gives me major anxiety because sometimes it's just really hard to hit them. But I got lucky. They almost ended the run. I don't think I have anything else to really do on here. I did it all earlier on my kitty sitting stream. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess we'll go back to PC. Kind of don't want to do any more runs of that right now because the drop rates on the weapons are all like screwed up or something. But yeah. It's about 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes to finish that game. It's actually a really nice length. It's rare to find a modern beat 'em up that doesn't overstay its welcome. Long enough to feel satisfying to 1cc, like I just did, but short enough to make you actually want to play it more than once. Alright. Oh yeah, there's a new Genesis update, huh? Aren't they adding like instance dungeons to that or something? I heard about that. That's definitely one of the things that game needs, but honestly, they need to loosen up the combat. That's what I can't stand about that game. Like for some reason they're just like allergic to like making it as responsive as the original game, which is what made that game so fun. I don't know why they took it out. I don't know. It bothers me. Oh, they're finally adding more PAs, huh? It took them long enough. I don't know. The combat in that game just doesn't feel good, and it's like they just made it worse for no reason. That's what bothers me about that game. It's like you had the combat fine. You just needed to like update it a little bit. But no, they made it like so much more stiff. And it was just hard for me to play. I really tried to give that game a chance, but you took away the one good thing and then you put it in an open world, which just makes everything worse. I'm looking at this instance thing right now. That's actually a pretty big improvement. Actually feeling like there's an objective instead of just running around. I don't know. I would try to install that game again, but I know it would just be me complaining about how it's not like the old game. So I'm very apprehensive towards doing that. I think everybody really knows what my opinion on the game is and how they ruined it. I don't think that that's going to change because they've been updating the game for like almost a year and the combat is still stiff. I will say that the fact that they have the fact that they are starting to add instanced areas is fixing one of the biggest problems, which is just running around in a dead open world to fight stuff. I mean, that's always been a part of PSO2. It always has been, but it was in small contained areas. That's the difference. I mean, beginning of PSO2, Japan was like running around in a 12-man MPA, running around in circles waiting for stuff to spawn. The difference was that it took like maybe 2 minutes to go across the entire map. So it it was definitely a problem. That was definitely something they had to nerf early on. Was make it so that the enemies would stop spawning, so that you couldn't stay in the same instance for like 18 hours. But like, I would rather go back to that than the way that New Genesis is right now. You spend so much time not fighting. Like the traversal isn't fun. The combat is like serviceable, but it's a straight downgrade from the way it was before, which is weird because it's like supposed to be a sequel. And like, why are they committed to making a sequel where the combat is worse? I mean, I will say I'm kind of mixed. I'm neutral on the fact that they have less PAs because in the original game there really were only a couple that were used. There were some like the twin daggers and stuff that had a couple that were used. A lot of them really were useless. I like that they've tried to add more utility to the moves. I think that's actually a pretty big improvement, to be honest with you. Um, but having only the option of only three moves and having like no application for your own play style, I think is the problem. And You know, a lot of the weapons don't have like gap closers and stuff too, so that's kind of the problem as well. When you only give me three moves, those moves need to cover like every situation I'm in. None of this like just randomly not have a gap closer. I mean, that's just shit no matter how you slice it. I don't know. They seem to be trying to fix the game. I just feel like it's too late. They went so long with just the gameplay loop being so broken, and just not having any content. All those things really held it back. I would have stuck around if the combat was better. I really only liked playing the fighter. The fighter actually could let you cancel at any frame in the animation, so it actually did kind of feel like old school PSO2. The other classes, no, they felt so stiff. I don't know. They seem to be finding a good. They seem to be going in a good direction with New Genesis. I don't know if I'll bother playing it ever again. I might try installing it again, but I know I'm just gonna like not like it because I put so much time into the original. I played that game for like almost a decade, so it's it's just a hard sell for me. Uh, that's kind of just the problem. But I don't think anybody can argue with the fact that they made a sequel where the game plays worse, and that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you have the luxury of making a sequel to a video game where uh, video games are like the only medium where a sequel can be better than the original. Somehow they made it worse, and they're doubling down on making it worse, which is like the weirdest part. I expect pretty much every MMO to be a train wreck when it comes out. They're all like that. Um, I think anybody who says that there is one that isn't like that hasn't played one at launch. They've been like that for decades. It's just the ones that survive have a good foundation, and they listen to the community, and they fix those problems. When you don't fix those problems and you don't have a good foundation, uh, it's just like an insurmountable battle, and I think that's the problem right now. They didn't launch with any content. They didn't launch with a good foundation, and they're taking forever to listen to people, and that pushes people away. It pushed me away. Uh, I was excited for the game. It didn't really deliver. It ended up giving me something worse. Well, having one more PA is pretty huge, I will say. That's a pretty big improvement. It's just that one move has to fix the problem that the game has right now, where they only have three moves and they don't fulfill all the situations that you're in. So it's like you can't really play the game the way that they're wanting you to because you don't have the options. I definitely agree that the original game had a lot of useless moves, uh, or they were good for like one thing, like backhand smash. Backhand smash, the only thing that move is good for is damage phases when a boss is stunned. You chain into it and you do like 6 digits of damage. That's the only thing it's good for. It's a good move, yes, but it has literally one use. And with New Genesis, they tried to like make it so okay, you have 3 moves, but there's like ways to modify them and stuff, which sounds good on paper. It's less having a palette switch. The problem is that they don't even have the moves that give you the basic needs that you want, um, like a gap closer or like something to counter or a crowd control move, and like you don't have those moves in the game, so the character just feels gimped because they don't have an answer for every situation. Yeah, I heard they brought back backhand smash. I wonder if it'll have like more use. Backhand smash was like the goat knuckle move, just because you could stun something and just chain into it, and it would do like 800,000 damage. Double Saber had a lot of useless moves too. I say Twin Dagger had mostly useful moves. There were some that were completely pointless. And you had ones like the Katana, which had like a couple good moves. But those good moves they were the answer to everything. So unless you're doing like a style video or something, there was no reason to ever use them. It definitely was a legitimate problem. I just don't think they solved it in the right way. Uh, you guys can uh, you guys can post about it in the Discord if it feels better. I don't think I'm gonna bother reinstalling it. I'm just gonna give it a try, and it'll run like crap, and I'll get tired of the open world, and I'll just want it to be the old game. I don't think anybody really needs to see that. I've been down that road countless times with that game. I'd rather not repeat myself. If it is better, I trust you guys will tell me, and maybe I'll give it another chance. But I'm not feeling it. Yeah, I have one. Honestly, it's mostly just cat photos or like whatever I'm working on. Right now, there's a good incentive to go in there because I have like 7 Jitsu Squad keys to give away. Let me put the invite. Uh, the city, I disagree with you there. Uh, Critica died because the engine sucks. The engine is terrible, and they have endgame content expecting like for like a different game where the game actually performs well. That shit ran at like 20 FPS. That's when I stopped playing the game. I loved that game. I put like 200 hours or so into that game. But then I got to the end game content and I'm getting one shot by things I can't react to because the game is running at like 15 FPS. That's been a complaint about that game for years, but it has such an old antiquated engine and they never bothered to fix it. And that's one of the things that killed it. I think it's like barely hanging on in the other regions. Yeah, you can't have challenging end game content where the game doesn't allow you to actually interact with it. Either that or you have to design the content around the fact that it's running at a terrible frame rate where your inputs are getting eaten and the visuals are not updating fast enough for you to react. It was a slideshow, and that's what killed it. It was a really fun game, but it's one of those games where the technical aspect really does ruin it at its core. And people have been telling them that for years and they never fixed it. I mean, I don't know what you expect to happen. You can't have a skill-based game run that poorly. Because if you design the content around the shit frame rate, then it can't be challenging because you can't you can't react. You can't do what the game is asking you to do because it runs so poorly. It's one thing if it's like something like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, where like the frame rate sucks, but the game is designed around it. So, it's sickening and ugly to look at, but like the game is still playable. As long as really bad frame rates don't make you super sick, you can still play it. The problem with Critica is it was designed around like having it be hard, but then you can't do the things that are being asked of you, which is just shit design. And they made no effort to fix it. I can't really feel bad I know it's hard to like completely change an engine from the ground up, but that's what that game needed. You can't expect me to avoid being one shot and then have shit frame rate eating my inputs. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Dude, why can't I do full screen? What the hell? It's off to a great start. Where's full screen? Thank you. No, I didn't want to exit. Damn it. Well, every Korean MMO is like that. The gear matters. The gear matters more than anything. The issue is the other games don't run at a slideshow frame rate. No, I don't think they've done anything to that game. Still got Danubo.
Serene and prepared.
You know about Wasteland 7A? It was once known as an idyllic civilization until a nuclear war. And 2 centuries of radioactive fallout turned it into what it is today. Apparently, some sort of mutant is out of control and causing trouble to Biosystems Lab's research stations. Here's the thing. The bounty is risen. So it's time for you to gear up and, ideally, get back here in one piece.
Behind you.
New Bat Ride War. They stopped making those games. Genesis was the last one. And then they did, Climax Fighters, which was shit. And they did the Climax Fighters sequel for Geo,
Inescapable.
which like doesn't even have online play.
Behind you.
Memory of Heroes was good. I recommend that game. You can get it off Singapore PlayStation Store. It's a good little game. I had fun with it. Definitely the highest effort Kamen Rider game they put out since Bat Ride War Genesis. Recommend it. It has like 0 replay value, but it's worth a playthrough. I was actually surprised how well made that game was.
Behind you.
Yeah, I have some videos on it if you want to see it. I played that game to completion.
Gotcha.
It's not like a spectacular game, but for a tokusatsu game, it's pretty good. Tokusatsu games are weird. They have ones that are like
Inescapable.
obviously for kids, like that Ultraman game that's on Switch, the Gokaiger one on DS. It's like, okay, this is obviously made for like 6-year-olds. But then they have stuff like Backwards War Genesis where you can't possibly say that because they brought back the actors to come back to reprise their roles for voice acting and stuff. And it's like, you can't say it's for kids because it doesn't make sense to do that if, you know, the game is for 8-year-olds. They're not going to care that the original Kamen Rider came back to voice his character. But yeah, it's weird. It's like they know that there's people my age that are interested in it, but they have this like weird disconnect. Like sometimes it's like this is like for like preschoolers. And then there's stuff like Backwards War Genesis, which is like a legit good Buso game.
Congratulations on another job well done, Kill Squad. Keep it up.
There's a couple on Switch that are like, they're very clearly for like small children. Let me type out the title of that game for you. It's spelled in a weird way. I think the Switch version has English text too, but you had to get it off the Japanese Switch store, which is like, it's like 8,000 yen or some shit like that. Yeah, the Switch version does have English text. The game runs at 30 FPS, so it's pretty much just whatever you prefer to play on. Well, the best thing about Memory of Heroes was the New Game Plus. The New Game Plus fixes age-old problems with the replay value in Tales games, where the character you want keeps leaving, or they don't join until halfway through the game. The New Game Plus in Memory of Heroes was like fucking revolutionary. And I wish that the game had something to like make it worth playing again, but the way that it worked was characters joined your party as you kept playing. Pretty much like a JRPG. It's a very linear action game, but the way that the party worked was like a JRPG. Sometimes they would leave, and you would get new party members and stuff. The New Game Plus gave you everybody at the start the whole time, even though in the story they're not meant to be there. And that's something I've wanted in Tales games for a long time. Like, that's the best takeaway from that game, is they like legit fixed the problem that the Tales games have had for years, where it's like, you know, your favorite character that you want to do this challenge run with is gone like half the game, or they don't join until 10 hours in, and then they keep leaving. So if you only want to play as that character, the game like goes out of its way to make sure that you don't. I thought that was really cool. That's like the biggest thing I remember about that game. I was shocked that I could just, yeah, you can just play as like Axel like the entire time. There's nothing stopping you. They have done it a couple times in Tales, but it's been very inconsistent. I think Rebirth has that as well. Rebirth, Destiny Remake, and Graces. Those are like the 3 games, but like the other ones don't have that. Like Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes was like, they all do that. Yeah. More party-based JRPGs need to do that. Even if they're just turn-based, they need to give you that option. I think that was one of the best things about that game, is they fixed that problem. It was a serviceable game. It definitely showed its lack of budget and dev time, but I had fun playing it. I hope that they make more games like that. You know, not like super big budget, not like trying to be revolutionary or anything, just like giving you cool games with the tokusatsu gameplay and the fan service and stuff. It's a solid action game. I had fun playing. I might play through it again someday. But I'm kind of leaning towards the Switch version because the Switch version has a patch for 60 FPS. Let me see. I can't find any footage of it running at 60 FPS. I know there's a patch for it, though. I'm pretty sure I heard that there was. I'm trying to look for it right now. Just one moment. Oh yeah, there is one. There is one, 60 FPS patch. Yeah, Tales games have always had that problem. That's why people like Clip and stuff that do solo runs, they have to hack the game to dump the character in the party. Because the game doesn't let you do that. That was what was really cool about Memory of Heroes. It's like, hey, we're just going to give you the entire party from the moment that you can control your character, and they never leave. Memory of Heroes has like 0 replay value. You kind of can just play it once and get everything, which is nice in its own way, but that New Game Plus was really cool if you wanted to keep playing it. I think Alvin and Zelia is a good example. That guy leaves the party like every 5 minutes, so if you like playing as him, he's never around. He keeps leaving. Alvin was just a meme in general. I don't know why he was a playable character. And like in the story, it was dumb too. He kept betraying them. They kept bringing him back. It's like, dude, this guy has betrayed you like 4 times in the past 6 hours. And then from a gameplay standpoint, he was pointless because he kept leaving. Yeah. Well, the problem with Flynn is that they never intended for him to be playable. Especially because the whole thing in the story is like he doesn't agree with Yuri's ideals and how he's trying to solve the problems that their world faces with, you know, the corrupt politicians and shit that nobody likes, that are doing terrible things. Like, it doesn't make sense for him to be there. He kind of just, like, phoned it in. It's like, from a gameplay standpoint, you want him to be there, but from a narrative standpoint, it doesn't make much sense for him to be there. It's just made worse by the fact that the gameplay is kind of working against you. It's like, if you beat the game, the story reasons for him to be gone all the time don't matter anymore because you've already seen the story. You're going to be skipping the cutscenes. Well, he's written in a way. He's written in a way where it doesn't make sense for him to be there. Vesperia's story is a hot mess anyway. It doesn't really matter. No, I think Vesperia is the worst. It's one of the worst Tales stories. I think Vesperia is one of the worst Tales stories. It just doesn't make any sense. And you can tell that, like, they had, like, no plan for it. It's like the Star Wars movies. The new Star Wars movies. Like, there's some merits to those movies, like the visuals and stuff, but, like, it's very clear that they had, like, no plan going into it, how they wanted it to finish, or, like, what they wanted it to actually be. Vesperia had 3 different writers, apparently. What's wrong with Rebirth? I haven't played that. I'm waiting for the English patch.
No.
Somebody who's a hot mess with a lot of mental illnesses, I would prefer if media did not try to portray people like me, unless they actually have somebody there that's, you know, has those same problems, or at least understands them, how somebody would actually act in that situation. You know, I've been in mental hospitals before in my past, really low points in my life, and I can tell you, the actual experience of being in those is something I've never seen portrayed properly in media. They make it seem like, you know, you're in a straitjacket, you're in like a room with no sound or anything like that. It's like, it's basically just being in a hospital, but you have like no rights. You're isolated from the world, but like, the way that they portray being in one of those things in the movies is not true. I've been in them multiple times, particularly low points in my life. In Tales games, they have great characters. I feel like the best Tales games, they have like a decent, inoffensive story, and they still have like a cast of characters that feels like a family, and they deal with things that like you can relate to in your real life. Vesperia has a really endearing cast of characters, but the story itself is stupid. Like, a prime example is Raven being Schwann. It's like, okay, it's supposed to be this big reveal that he's the bad guy. You fight him, and then he dies, and then because, you know, it's a Tales game where you have action, you know, fighting game style combat, he comes back 5 minutes later. It's like, okay, well, what was the point of that? Like, you can't kill off characters in a game like that. It just doesn't work. because you have the problem of you've made a moveset for this character that's supposed to last 2 playthroughs. You can't kill them off. It just does not work. You know, in a turn-based RPG, it's easier to get away with that kind of thing. You know, Final Fantasy and Persona have done that kind of thing before. But, you know, they can give you somebody else that fills the same role. But when you have, like, an actual moveset meticulously designed for this one character, you can't kill them off and then just bring them back. Like, you have to bring them back. Because they have tools that nobody else does. And you're designing the game around people wanting to play it with their friends and stuff. I don't understand why they did that. It would have had more impact if, like, he didn't come back. But then the problem with that is your whole moveset is gone. You can't play as that character anymore. The Valkyrie Profile 2 had that problem as well. With Lazard, it's like he joins your party at, like, the halfway point, and then he leaves, and you can't play as him again until the end game. It's like, well, anybody who played the first game would know he's not going to stick around. Lazard is a very unreliable, kind of unhinged guy. He's not going to stay with the Valkyries. So the first time you play that game, it's like, should I even bother putting anything on him? Because he's just going to leave. Yeah, I think that's the dumbest thing in that game, is I don't know why they tried to do that. It's like they're trying to copy Final Fantasy, but they didn't realize that, like, they don't have the luxury of having basic turn-based combat. You know, it's like you can kill off the healer, but they can give you somebody else who's a healer. So it's like the impact is still there, but they don't have to have some bullshit reason for them to come back. That's the difference. In a turn-based game, you have a lot more liberty with, like, doing that kind of thing. I remember the first time I played that game, I'm like, what? He just died like 5 minutes ago. Like, it completely ruins any impact at all, and it's like barely mentioned again. It has absolutely no impact. It's like trying to copy, like, Persona and Final Fantasy doing that kind of thing, but, like, not having anywhere near as good delivery. But a lot of that does just come from the fact that, from a gameplay standpoint, it's, like, impossible to pull off. They tried that in Zestiria as well. One of the characters dies, and they just give you another character that has the same moveset, which, like, that's really the only way to do it, but it still feels shitty. Because it's like, okay, this character died, but there's someone else here who's doing the exact same thing, and he's just like a clone. So you don't even get the excitement of getting a new party member. He has the exact same moveset. It's like, I don't know why they tried to do that again. I guess it worked a little bit better because he actually didn't come back 5 minutes later, but the same problem. You can't kill somebody off in the Tales game that's playable. You can really only do that with, like, NPCs. Yeah, they did it with that game too. Yeah, they basically have done that 3 times. Symphonia, Vesperia, and Zestiria. The only time they really did it well was Symphonia, I think. Yeah, that was a very interesting part. Although I think it kind of felt a little bit too Disney-fied, because it's like the people that Yuri kills, they're just like our politicians, you know? They're just assholes. All they want is more money and to be controlling. Like, they're not really they're not really three-dimensional characters. Now, I definitely have changed my outlook on one-dimensional villains, and I think more people should do this, because let's look at the reality here. The people that fuck up our planet and do these terrible things, they just do it for money too, and to control people. They have no deep reason for doing it. And once I realized that, it was a lot easier for me to swallow one-dimensional villains in video games and stuff. But like the problem with it is Flynn is like going all crazy about it. It's like, dude, no one's gonna miss that guy that he killed. No one liked that guy. Like, I get the message that they were trying to pull off, but it just like didn't really work because it's like there wasn't like some kind of scene where Rago is like saving puppies or something, or he has like a kitten shelter. There wasn't anything like that. He was just an asshole. It was like no one's gonna miss that guy. Like it's better for everybody that he's gone. Yeah, it was kind of interesting, but it felt a little bit contrived. I guess the whole thing about it was like taking action when other people won't. That was like the thing you can get from that story. You can take action when other people won't do it, but still, like, okay, like no one's gonna miss that guy. I don't know. It was really weird having Flynn join the party because it like made no sense for him to be there at all. Arise tried that too. Arise tried that too. Arise was worse in my opinion because it was like the whole time you play the game, the lords, they're like reprehensible people. Like they have no redeeming qualities. Like nobody likes them. But then at the end of the game, they give you this sob story about all of them when they're already dead and the game's already over. Like the game is already over at that point. Like you've already been I think what makes it worse is that the end of the game is like just hours of info dump with no visuals. It's just characters standing around talking. But then at the very end of the game, they're like, "Oh, the this lord like saved puppies in his spare time or something." Like, dude, I don't care. They were all slave drivers. They were mass murderers. Like, like that doesn't absolve them of the crimes that they committed. But they like try to make you feel bad about them like 20 hours after you killed them all. It's like, what's the point? It was really weird. I think what made that kind of plot line worse was the fact that the end of the game was like so clearly not finished. They rushed it out. They didn't have time to like actually make cutscenes. I don't know. It was a weird angle to make you feel bad about them after you've already killed them. It's like, okay, well, I did that like 40 hours ago. Why should I care now? Doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah, exactly. They're like just people that no one would miss. That's why it felt a little bit Disney-fied. Yeah. I couldn't help but cringe at that. I'm like, dude, why are you trying to give me this message now? The game is over. There's not even like a humanoid final boss left. There's no one left. Like I don't care at this point. Like I regret watching that game's cutscenes. I really regret watching that game's cutscenes. I should have skipped them all. It really fell apart at the end. Everything about the end of Arise was terrible. Even if you really liked the game to that point. Really? Wow. Yeah, I like the whole thing of like the Renans and the Donans were the same. They're just like genetically modified, and then the planet is just this dead husk of like people's soup or whatever. And you're like, you're supposed to care. It's like I really don't care. And then once you get into the dungeon, like that ship, it's just like 3 hours of info dump with no gameplay. Say what you want about Arise, it definitely deserved a better ending. I felt like it had a pretty good start, but it just fell apart, and it's very obvious that that happened because of COVID. Like COVID, they just couldn't finish the game, and they probably got told to crunch it, probably crunch those people to death to put it out in time. So like the end of the game just feels awful because there's no game left at the end. They basically just pad it out. They pad it out in a number of ways. The first is the endless cutscenes with like no visuals, people talking about stuff, and because there's no gameplay, there's no time to actually process what the hell they're saying, and it's all like Star Trek techno babble stuff. And then once you actually do get to gameplay, their idea of a compelling final dungeon is let's just recycle the 5 bosses and just give them 3 more digits of health. It's like, even if the story had been good all the way up to that point, I feel like the end of the game really ruins it. Because that dungeon is like, it feels like you're running like an Olympic mile or something. You feel so exhausted. Because it's just nothing but boss enemies with tons of health. And you've already fought them like 10 times at that point. Actually, let me bring up one of them right now. The Ultra Instinct Mantis is the one that I remember the most. Hold on. Yeah, yeah. I found it. I found the screenshot. Hold on. I'm already laughing. I'm laughing just looking at this. All they did was just they just neon colored it and they added like 2 digits to its health and they just copy paste like 10 of them in the dungeon. Like just Ultra Instinct Wizard Creepzilla. Just fight it 10 more times. That's when the game felt like they didn't know how to finish it and they had like no time. It was painful going through it, but now that it's been like a couple months, I can laugh at it, how stupid it was. One of the bosses was recycled from Dark Souls, really? Which one? That's a Dark Souls boss? Wow. why, why didn't they recycle more then? Like, I was like, that game had such poor enemy variety. Might as well just recycle more at that point. It's the first boss in Dark Souls. Do you mean the character model, or like the entire moveset was copied verbatim? It wasn't just the character model with like different movements. Is it just like a straight copy paste? That's what I'm asking. Did they just take the model and recycle it? Yeah, I can see why. They probably didn't give FromSoft much more budget to make Elden Ring, which is why they have like you fight a lot of the bosses again. They probably didn't give them a lot of money to finish it. It's just weird because it's already sold like 12 million copies. But I've heard that being a complaint in that game. Some bosses you fight like 2, 3 times. Well, that's a common problem with open world games. To make something that's massive, but it doesn't have enough content to really warrant being that big. A lot of them have that problem. And I think there's also the problem of, the game is so big that like most people won't even see all the content. So that's probably part of the rationale as well. It's like, well, most people aren't going to see this boss in this corner of this dungeon hidden behind a wall or whatever. So we should just recycle another boss. Because the game has like a lot of secrets and stuff, and they don't want to invest a lot of time into working really hard on a boss that like most people aren't going to see versus the traditional Souls games where most people are going to fight almost every boss. They can put a lot more effort into them. The world is a lot smaller too. And, like starting to put that design into a massive open world game, like there had to be some sacrifices. There's just no way. Well, most games can barely even make like a dozen good bosses. Most games don't even have a dozen good bosses, so making like 90 of them is a gargantuan task. I honestly don't know why they even tried. Like, I can't think of many games that have consistent boss quality. Some of the best action games in the world have a couple crappy bosses. Well, the thing that sells is being able to say that your game has a lot of content, when the reality is that a lot of the content isn't good. There's a smaller percentage of the content that's actually good to play through. But if you say that you have 100 bosses, that gets people to pre-order and buy the game at full price. The problem is I've been gaming for so long that I see through that shit. I'm like, I'd rather have like Assault Spy, where there's like a dozen good bosses, and none of the bosses are offensively bad. They're all pretty good. There's not a large amount of them, but they're all fun to fight. Now that games are getting bigger and we have more technology, there's been this obsession with just making them bigger and bigger. It's like you can still make a small game and have it be replayable. It doesn't need to have 5 billion square mile open world and like 300 bosses and 400 weapons. You can make a small game with like 20 bosses and like 10 weapons that you can finish in like a couple sittings, and you can have that be fun and be replayable. The size of the game isn't everything. No, if you make that video, people are just gonna tell you to get good anyway. They'll just absolve the game of all criticism, because that's what that community does. Yeah, there's no point in making that, dude. No point. That's exactly what's gonna happen. You just get a bunch of sweaty trolls telling you to get good at the game. It's like, no, you've already beaten it. Like, oh, get better at the game. Like, no, fuck off. I don't want to play the game anymore. I've had my peace with it. Like, I've moved on. I don't want to get good at the game. I don't have any interest. People will still try to strong arm you into it. It's like, I already beat the game. Like, I don't have anything to prove. It's pretty hard to have an open world game with like meaningful content. There's always going to be a lot of running around and nothing. The moment-to-moment gameplay is not going to be very interesting because the world is so big. You know, that's what was good about the old Souls games, is that they were compact. They were basically like dungeons from what I've seen. So they could put like a lot more unique content in there. And you could still have like the pleasure of exploring, but not like have the moment-to-moment gameplay be broken up so much. Having small enclosed areas, it doesn't remove any chance for the game to be devoid of exploration. It doesn't. It's just people think it does. Yeah. Finding the drive to make videos is pretty hard. I owe you guys a couple overviews, but I haven't been in the best mental state lately. I'm hoping when I wake up in the morning I'll have the drive to get those videos done, but... Yeah, so you can stalk my wish list. It's like those people that stalk your relationship status on social media. Wait to slide into your DMs until they notice you're single. Post a breakup post. That's what you do. Creepazoid. Luckily, people don't really gift me stuff that often. I did have somebody gift me Dark Souls at some point, and I rejected it. I told him, like, I'm not gonna play this. I told him, thanks for the thought, but, like, I'm gonna hate playing this game, because it's not adjacent to what I like. He was like, oh, that's cool. That actually did happen a couple years ago. Someone tried to get me that game. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not playing that. Like, that shit would get uninstalled in a heartbeat. Better off giving it to someone else who likes those games. Don't waste it on me. I'm not the right audience. Yeah, Guilty Gear Judgment is pretty underrated. I really love that game. I play it on my kitty sitting stream sometimes. I haven't heard anything. But I also don't really use Twitter in a normal way anymore. I stopped looking at the timeline on there because it was making my anxiety a lot worse. I stopped. So I miss a lot of stuff that happens on there, but it's better for my mental health. I'm sure I miss some dank memes and cool games and stuff, but my mental health is more important. So I don't always, not always up to date on indie game stuff. I have like a couple accounts I check a couple times a day, and that's pretty much it. I haven't looked at the timeline on Twitter in like over 2 years. But I appreciate that you guys post that stuff in my Discord, things I might like. Because I kind of have this rule, I don't look at the main timeline of Twitter anymore. I stopped 2 years ago. I have to protect myself. Not look at stuff that's just gonna get me triggered. Not playing very well tonight. I don't know if I feel like playing anything else tonight. I might be done. Let me see what's on Twitch right now. That will determine if I keep streaming. I could play like one more game. I could do like PGR dailies or something. But, let's see what's on Twitch right now. I have Elden Ring blocked because that game was taking up like half of my following list, and it was kind of interesting to watch for a while, but it's just like too much of it. Like way too much of it. That game has really it's really broken the like live streaming rule for games where it's like games like that have like a finite amount of content that aren't service games, they have like a 2 week lifespan. It's been out for like over a month. People are still playing, which is cool. I'm glad that the game has that much interest, but I got tired of seeing like 30 streams of it. I'm like I'm not really interested in watching it. There's some good stuff on right now. I think I'm just gonna call it there. Uh, I don't feel like doing PGR right now. Already finished KOF today. It took a long time, but later today should be after reset should be pretty easy now that I have Akuma. Akuma kind of gives you a little bit more of a security barrier against geese. Yeah, I don't know if I feel like playing anything else tonight. I think I'm done. I haven't been in the best mental state lately. I know I sound fine now, but I've had a lot of problems with my abandonment trauma and shit, and I miss my friends. I've had a lot of people just drift away, and I've kind of been dealing with loneliness and stuff, and I've been stressed about the channel, just not making much income and stuff. I've had a lot of anxiety, trauma, and stuff lately. It's been hard for me to get through. I'm working through it. I still function as an adult, but things have been pretty hard for me. Ever since I recovered from COVID, I haven't been the same mentally. So the way I'm fixing it is just trying to not work so hard. I need to get the Jitsu Squad overview out. Maximus 2, I need to do that as well. I've beaten both of those games like multiple times each, so I'll see if I feel like doing that today. I very well might. Might just like order a pizza or something, stay inside the house. We'll see. It shouldn't take too long to do those. I've already played them a lot. I want more people to play Maximus 2. Honestly, Maximus 2 has a lot less glaring flaws than Jitsu Squad right now. But I already sent him all the feedback. The combat designer, I know him personally. The game will get fixed. That's why I'm kind of like apprehensive towards making an overview, because it's obvious they're going to make some changes. A lot of people have been pretty open about the problems that the game has. So I don't know if I want to do that right now, because they're my friends. I really like the game. It's just it's got some very obvious problems that kind of detract from it. Maximus 2 though, that game is legit. I really have fun playing that game. That might actually become a mainstay on the channel, especially since the first update is supposed to add 2 new characters, one of which is a martial artist. So I'm very interested in that. Obviously, that's a very Tetsuo adjacent character. I've seen some footage of him on the developer's channel. Why don't we do that? Yeah, I'll do the Maximus 2 overview later today. I'll put that up, but I'm gonna upload the 1cc right now, so I think the developers would like to have that. They can get some more eyes on the game. It doesn't seem like too many people are really playing it right now, which sucks because it's a legit good game, and also it's not scummy. You know, like microtransactions in that game for like someone not playing hardcore, they max out at like $10. So that's like the least scummy you can get, really. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there. I'm just gonna watch some streams. I'm gonna upload the Sacred 1cc that I worked hard on doing today. That's my second 1cc of that game today, by the way. I'm gonna go ahead and upload that. I might check out New Genesis again. We'll see if I feel like doing that, but I'm leaning towards no. I'm looking to earn a lot less from the channel this month, so if you want to help me, there you go. I'll see you guys